Contradiction is the contradiction. The mind is a contradiction. It says it is. Here we enter the paradox. As we go into triggering, growing awareness, let's look at the paradox. Just understand it from awareness. But the mind, it not being the source of experience, is a contradiction. That you think you relate from this body, you are a body. Yeah, that's a contradiction. But as that surrendered knowing, as that awareness, everything becomes self-evident. Because it is as consciousness, one is the source of all experience. Nothing, the content of you doesn't exist separately from the source of witness being present. The only thing you've ever done in life is witness. This is the action. This is such. It completely contradicts how we've been living our life. Complete contradiction. Contradiction is a good word. It's a wonderful word. That allows us to explore the paradox. This witness has many names when you begin to integrate. It starts with I am. Then it becomes what discriminates, it becomes what's willing, it becomes what's softness, it becomes what's intimacy, it becomes what is deep, it becomes honesty. It's a contradiction that the mind claims these qualities because the mind judges, concludes. It's completely dishonest via the contradiction that it claims experience. It's a lie. It's a false self. But this we see, these things are happening. We've been triggered every day because we have instinct. And if we have instinct, we seek pleasure and we feel fear. And we have a mind that creates order out of it. And this human condition, that's what we call it. But when we get caught up in the self-willed direction of the mind claiming experience, we get caught up in a contradiction. How do we get out of this contradiction? How do we liberate ourselves? And this is the interesting part. It's beautiful, beautiful. If I could really show you how it is, you would be shocked at how beautiful it is to completely see the mind as it is, the body as it is, and how in that contradiction you've left a stain. That continues a contradiction, even upon awakening. The forms still do this thing of body sensation, instinct, pleasure, fear. Mind seeks order. This pattern will still occur because this is your person, this is the known aspect of you, the person, the body mind, you see. But something beautiful happens when you accept the body mind as it is completely, without wanting to change it, without wanting to fix it, without wanting to therapize it. Because all of that is just concepts. All of that is just the mind concluding, the mind maintaining control and refining its personal experience, which is a refinement of contradiction. So we don't want that at all. Coming away from that contradiction, it will still play out, the old narratives, the old mental, the character pattern still pass through the mind when there is a certain body sensation. And it's only certain body sensation. And then that body sensation is the cause and condition of activity. The mind swoops in and wants to gain control, order, and conclusion. See? Personhood, claiming experience, but we see this contradiction, and then from awareness, from softness, from innermost being, you claim it. You claim it as awareness. What is unfortunate here for a lot of people, because a lot of people are still very young in the spiritual life. Many people are still quite immature and still carry a concept of what they want spiritually or how it should be spiritually. So for them, it's very difficult. But if you're ready, you can really examine this, really explore this reality, this aspect of continual patterning, continual triggering, and come to learn that as soon as you remain in the unknowing, you'll begin to see the pattern, but this time you're seeing a pattern for nobody. Okay? Takes maturity. You really have to understand that the mind, in its contradiction, cannot transcend itself. But it will try. Meditation, religion, politics. But let us look at the real way, the way of awareness, the way of non-attachment. Even the mind can develop a concept of non-attachment and develop all sorts of activities that give forms of attachment practice or whatever, non-attachment practice. We know this. It's the same with forgiveness. It's the same with any religion. So, but to truly practice non-attachment, to really truly practice the unknowing, what is not here, is to distinguish the awareness from what appears as the mental object, the thought, the mind, whatever. See that as the condition of what is known, but remain in the knowing. Here we're starting to distinguish, and here we're starting to claim experience by being the source of experience from consciousness itself. So remaining as knowing. Here, awareness is given the name of acceptance. You see, the concept given to the mind, you can go around accepting everything, and we've all done it. It's not a crime. But when acceptance is taken away from the mind, practicing it, to awareness being it, it's a different thing. It's a different thing. When acceptance is given to awareness, being the active principle, being the root source, when meditation itself is the root source. Acceptance is something that simply allows what's known, what is known, to start connecting with the unknowing, what your true knowing, pure awareness. And it's sometimes not pretty, it's not pretty, but it's always beautiful, it's always beautiful. Because it lacks sentiment, there's no sentiment. It's only the mind in its spirituality loves sentiment. Sentiment is a cancer, it's a disease. What you want is beauty. What you want is complete acceptance of understanding. You know, when understanding is given back to awareness being the root source, then it's an understanding that has no concept. And it's hard. The mind, see, this is where the mind cannot get it, cannot get acceptance. The mind can conclude what acceptance means and practice what acceptance is, but it's completely conditional and it's a complete contradiction. One has to remain as awareness. And that in itself is acceptance. It's because it's unconditional. The only unconditional factor there is, it's never in the known, it's in what's knowing of the known. This we call pure awareness, pure consciousness, okay? So here we have acceptance, and it's here that we enter into the process of growing awareness around triggering. This is what you need. You have to walk into what is known completely naked, completely naked. Not a single concept in your hand. So how do we do this? How do I make you understand this?